Guys, back with another portable Clint. It's an early October 30th morning. We did it early so we could fit this guy in. I love this dude. I've only known him for a few years, but I like his story. Get in here. Ladies and gentlemen, David STORRS. Is it David STORRS? Am I saying it right?
You know what? Everyone asks me David or Dave, and I honestly don't have a preference. But
I'm not saying the first name. I'm talking about the last name. Am I saying
STORRS,
that?
yes. That is correct. Yes.
Okay, but now I want to go back to Dave.
Yeah.
Is it Dave or David?
You know what? I think it's Dave. It's trending Dave.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah.
I've only known you for a few short years.
Very short there, yeah.
I don't even know where or how we met.
Is it through the Groundlings?
No, never took
Promising?
Groundlings. Never took Groundlings. I think it was just through commercial auditioning
Okay.
and stuff like that. And I also think we did one of those Dorito commercials together one time.
Yes. Okay, where people would do it on their own and they would submit it.
Yes. Okay, David.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
Okay, David.
Yeah.
I like it when people set out to do something, but
Right.
something else happens along the way.
Okay.
And that's where you fall in.
You must love my life.
I love your life.
Oh my God.
All right, David.
Yes.
You moved out here to become an actor. Is that true?
Yes.
What year? What year was that?
Gosh, I graduated in '97 in Indiana.
Indiana.
Ball State University with a
Okay.
theater degree
Okay.
and a telecommunications degree.
All right.
And I had an internship with a casting agency, and then I just thought I would move out here in '97. I moved out here in '97 to pursue acting.
Now, when you were a kid, did you watch TV and go, I want to be a part of that? Like, what were you thinking?
It wasn't. I don't think it was TV. I remember doing a play in junior high, and it was some Western, and I loved it. And so, I just pursued theater. And then when I graduated, I was like, well, it's either I wasn't a singer or I wasn't a dancer.
Okay.
So like Chicago.
Well, not yet, anyways.
Not yet. I'm still. Yes. And so I thought, well, maybe it's either Chicago or LA. I felt better about my acting abilities than my singing and dancing.
Sure.
So, why you laugh at that?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. You get out to LA what year again?
I get 97.
97,
Yeah.
You roll into town. Do you know anyone?
No, I am moving in with this girl I knew in college was breaking up with her boyfriend.
Okay.
I was moving into her ex-boyfriend's place as his roommate.
Okay, where? Where was this?
This is in North Hollywood.
Okay.
And it was a pool
A lot of
house.
people move into North Hollywood at the beginning. That's where I moved.
You did?
And yeah. On Morrison Street.
Okay.
I don't know if that means anything.
Laurel Canyon and Addison.
Sure, I know that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It was a pool house. It was a back pool house, 2 rooms, and I lived with this guy that I didn't know. I knew his ex-girlfriend. She just moved down.
Right.
So we drove cross country with my dad. I towed him. We towed a car, and he left, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
I
that's-
didn't,
yeah. Okay.
So, and I had an internship at a casting.
Who was the casting?
Pembroke Frank casting.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Dean Frank and Don
Yes,
Pembroke.
I love those guys.
Yeah, I answered their phones, and it was like a crash course.
Was this the one on Ventura Boulevard
Yes.
on the high tower?
In the
penthouse?
In the penthouse.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't remember seeing you there when I went there that one time.
Well, I answered the phones,
Okay.
and they wouldn't let me into the audition room.
Okay, so when do you book your first gig?
Gosh, it was a commercial. It was for Sonic, and I think it was probably about 2 years into it, 2 or 3 years into being it.
What were you doing for those 2 years? Answering phones the whole time?
I did an internship for Pembroke and Frank, and then for 6 months, it was a paid internship through my college, and then I worked for a management company as an executive assistant, and I started taking Groundlings classes.
Okay, when you moved out here, what did you want to accomplish out here?
I wanted to make a living acting. And
what does that mean? But I've never seen anybody move out here going, I want to go out there to make a living as an actor.
My bar was so low.
Well, I know, but no
wanted
one
to
says
pay
that. There's something other thought that you had in your mind. I know there was. Did you see yourself? I want to be on the big screen. I want to have a series. I want a TV series.
Yeah, it was probably TV, like a regular on a TV series. Because I remember Friends and Seinfeld, and it was like that was the dream. That was to be on a sitcom.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, that's more
network.
like it, because people, again, I want to move out to LA to be a working actor. We don't think that at 20.
Right. I guess you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years
Poking
go-
holes in my story.
All right. 2 years go by. You book Sonic.
Yeah.
You gotta wait for that noise. That's a loud noise right there. Hang on. Okay. You book Sonic.
Book Sonic.
Who was casting director?
I don't even. Gosh, I know the place was. It was in Hollywood. I don't remember the casting director. Is that
Okay.
terrible?
Yeah, that is bad. And she's watching right now.
Oh God.
Okay. So David,
Yeah.
do you start working after that? Is it?
No. It was. I had to substitute teach
Okay.
for 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, I was at a special ed school.
Okay.
I was. A teacher died. I took over their classroom. It was a whole to-do, but I liked it because the substitute teaching would allow me to audition and take and I was taking groundlings classes and doing Sunday company at the time.
10 years.
Yeah,
That sounds like a long time.
so long. But
Did
it was
you-
like a day job. It wasn't like I was. I mean, yeah, I was. It was a long time.
I guess what I'm asking, after 10 years of doing something that's not your plan to do, are you starting to think, man, this is never going to happen?
Probably that thought creeped in, but I'm so stubborn that, and it's not like I knew that I was going to I was good enough. I was like, oh, I want to do it. I'm stubborn. I will continue to do it. And I was getting that positive feedback from the groundlings and from my sketch comedy and my improv. So I was feeding that creativity. I wasn't making money, but I was around this environment
Okay,
that was really
that's good.
fulfilling.
Okay, that's good. So 10 years, when do you quit? And when and why do you quit?
Oh, the teaching?
Yes.
My credential was up for renewal. You have to get an emergency credential, and I booked a Rolling Rock commercial.
Okay.
And I was getting some more work through some other like prank show and hidden camera stuff. So and then my wife got me a story producing job.
What's a story producing job? What does that mean?
So in hidden camera, I guess, or unscripted.
Okay, but the hidden camera, I kind of want to start that. Are we starting that now?
No, well, that's okay.
Because
sort
that
of,
be-
yeah,
because that
was the
becomes-
purpose, yes.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's start that.
So I got a job when I was substitute teaching in the Sunday company. I got a job on Scare Tactics, like as an actor, which is hidden camera prank show.
How did you get this? How did you get this?
Suzanne Broderick, the casting director who booked
Oh,
me,
you remember her? Okay.
came to a groundling show.
Came to a groundling show.
Yeah, a Sunday company show, and they were auditioning actors for hidden camera for Scare Tactics. And she brought me in, and I did the audition, and I got booked.
Okay, and you thought this would be like a one and done deal?
Yes, one and done. So I go out to Vegas, and I do the prank, and I'm so nervous. And it was the most thrilling thing I've ever done.
Take us behind the scenes behind that type of show, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
so
Back then.
back then, we would have sort of a beaten out skeleton of a script.
Okay.
3 or 4 pages of the prank. And in paragraph form, there was no dialogue.
You mind telling us the prank as well?
Oh,
please?
sure. What, an example of a
Yeah,
prank?
or that one that you did in Vegas, or you can do any one you want.
Well, basically, it was called Rear Window, and basically, I'm playing a guy who lives in this apartment, and the Mark, the person who doesn't know what's going on, is going to come over. We're going to pre-party at my place, and then we're going to go to another party.
Okay.
Okay. So the person comes over, and we're just chit-chatting, and in the back of my across the street through my window, we see a couple arguing, and I have a telescope.
Okay.
So we look through the telescope, and they're arguing, and the guy kills the woman. And we witness this there, and then the guy looks up and sees us looking at him.
Okay.
So we close the window, shut the door.
And the Mark is standing next
The Mark
to
is standing, the Mark is witnessing, and we're sort of leading the Mark to engage with we're playing dumb. We're like, dude, check it out, look in there. So as soon as he looks in, the guy looks, and then we had a breakaway door, so we're like, shut the door, like, we're fine. And then all of a sudden this big dude comes in, busts through the door, and says, "What did you guys see?" And of course, everyone's like, "We didn't say anything," and I'm like, "Well, we did see you hurt a girl." Like, so we want this, and the Mark was like, "Listen, man, I don't even know this dude. He's fucking dude. I don't even know this dude. I'll help you beat him up. Let's just get out. I don't even know him. I'll help you beat him up." And then we reveal. So that's the prank.
Okay, but wait, hang on a second. I know you're about to explain more, but how do you find the Mark? How did you get the Mark?
Well, back in that day, it was through friends and accomplices and all that stuff. And there's a whole casting process. But then it was like, that dude's friend was like, I want to put my friend on scare tactics. So I'm going to help you guys work with getting him there. And we don't really talk with the accomplice and let them know too much about what's going on. They're like, hey, go up there. All you know is that, and we try to get the accomplice away from them. Like, I got to step outside, make a phone call. And then we pull the prank.
Okay, so you did that one.
So I did that one, and when I was on set, there were this guy, Doug Perkins, and another writer, Chad Hamill. They were the writers, or they call them story producers, because there was no dialogue. But these guys had the script, and they had come up with the idea along with the executive producers, and they would sort of take lead and, like, in rehearsal, say, Dave, you're going to stand here, this is the whole thing, and we'd go through it, we'd block it out before the Mark showed up, and I just thought they had the coolest job.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool job.
Yeah. So I asked the other EP, Mike Harney, I said, look, if there is ever an opening, I just expressed interest.
Yeah,
I would love to, pursue that, or if there's ever an opening or a chance, I'd come in and pitch ideas. And then one thing led to another, and I kept coming back and back to do the acting on it.
Wait, but when you got hired, you only got hired to do one episode, but they kept bringing you back. They kept
bringing me back.
Because you did a good job doing it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I did, yeah. So I did like 3 or 4 or 5 bits.
Okay.
Yeah. For that second season of Scare Tactics.
All right, so wait, before I get ahead of myself, let me ask you this. Can you ever mess it up?
Yes.
Did you ever mess it up?
I have. I haven't screwed it up. I think some pranks haven't worked because of whatever the unbelievability of the bit, or something that the Mark sees that tips them off, or that they're the type of person who won't believe in this thing, and I've like they've seen the cameras, so. And maybe I have said 1 or 2 things that have pushed the reality in that moment where they question, oh, this isn't real. But never have I like said or done something that's blatantly like, okay, this is all fake.
Right. Do you have an earpiece?
I do have it. We have an earpiece, yeah.
And are they constantly feeding you lines?
No. You go through rehearsal and you get there the night before and you know what the beat is, so you go and you rehearse it, and then the director, the person talking to you is usually, there's 2 directors. There's a director directing cameras and letting cameras know where to focus and zoom on, and then there's another director sort of directing actors. And usually it depends on how well that relationship is with the director and the actor. Some actors freeze and need to be fed every line and every dialogue, and then some actors, I got to the place where I really trusted the directors, and they trusted me.
Yeah.
So they go, okay, go to the next beat. And so then I would just improvise, and then if they needed to hit a story beat or whatever, because they're going to be in the edit bay and they know what they have to hit, they'll give me a line or 2.
Okay, so when do they go, hey man, we'd like to take you to the next level, not just be on the show?
That was 2nd season or 3rd season, and a lot had to do with my wife. She was she was my girlfriend at the time, Becky. She worked as a producer on it. They wanted her back. We had just started dating, and she sort of leveraged, because she was like a rock star. And
Awesome.
she goes, she knew that I wanted to be it. I don't know. I mean, I think I still made a good impression, but she was like, look, I will come back, but would you interview Dave, or would you,
that's good.
So I got in, and I think it's because they wanted Becky so much.
Yeah.
They're like, we will take this never before tested writer because we know that Becky will make the show happen.
I love Hollywood.
Isn't that crazy?
I love Hollywood. Okay, so you do it, and you.
So I write.
Yeah.
I come in and you come
What's
up
the
with.
first thing that got? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you just. So you go in, do pre-production, and you come up with ideas and you pitch them.
Okay, so what was the first one that you got on TV? What was the first prank?
I don't know what my first prank was. Well, I had gotten a job from another show, Hi-Jinks, before I did Scare Tactics, and which is a kids prank show. But I got that through a connection of Scare Tactics. But I don't remember what the first prank is, but I do remember a really good prank.
Okay, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
All right. So this prank, when I pitched this prank to the executive producers, it did not go well. But I think the executive producer knew the seed of the idea was good.
Okay.
So he said, "Let's pitch it another day." So I pitched another day, and it got through, and it went in. It got produced. It was I just thought of the image of a school bus at night,
Okay.
stranded with its blinkers on. That was the image that I started.
That's
with,
funny.
right?
That's funny.
So I came up with a scenario where
This is for Scare Tactics.
This is for Scare Tactics.
Okay, go ahead.
So the Mark is working a security detail. Hey, we're just going to go roam around. We're just going to patrol the perimeter. It's desert. It's there in Vegas. It's scary stuff. But the Mark just thinks they're going to be a security guard.
Yeah.
Should be an easy night. Clint.
Easy night. Yeah.
You know what? We just go there. We usually just go and read a book. Nothing normally happens. This is going to be an easy 4 hours. Yeah. They pull up on a school bus in the middle of the night. It's like 10 o'clock at night. It's blinking. They're like, we better go investigate.
Yeah.
So they go out. You get on the school bus. There are no kids. There's backpacks and kids' shoes sitting there, right? And then what you do is you see one girl on the bus just rocking. And so we let the Mark engage with her, and she's basically like, they took everything. I'm like, who took everybody? So the security guard goes to this woman. She goes, hey, you stay with her, make sure she's okay. I'm gonna call this in. So I'm gonna patrol around. And so we get her to sit down next to the girl, and she just, she's very cryptic at first. And that's the thing with hidden camera. You don't want to be like, hey man, we got abducted by aliens. You just kind of want to just creep them out, So it's like, they took everybody. Everybody's gone. What do you mean everybody's gone? Who took everyone? And she just looks up. And then so we're letting her just, and all of a sudden we had this subwoofer. We had a subwoofer underneath the bus, and we had some massive light up on the hill. So the bus, we start triggering this subwoofer, and it just shakes the entire bus. And she's like, they're back. Boom, the light comes on. It just floods the entire bus with light. And then we have these guys with amazing makeup, alien makeup, running around the bus, And the security guard that's around the back, he gets attacked and gets swept under the bus, and she's freaking out. An alien comes onto the bus, and another alien on the back of the bus comes up, so they're cornering, and her head's on a swivel. She's freaking out. But what's great about it, that bit, is that this girl, this Mark, now believes that two aliens are attacking this little girl, and she is so protective of this girl. She goes, get away from her! Get away! She became like a hero. She was protecting this this little girl. And then we're like, none of it, and the little girl reveals, you're on Scare Tactics.
Wow, David.
Yeah.
That's a good one, dude.
Yeah, and I tell you, I think I don't remember if that was a specific time, but I remember coming to set, and on an idea I did, one of my first ideas, wasn't that idea, but I just remember looking around. I'll use this as an example. There's a school bus, there's a desk, there's hundreds of people working. And I had just came up with this idea 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I felt like I had fooled sci-fi, I had fooled the executive producers. I'm like, you are putting money into, you're putting tens of thousands of dollars into an idea that I came up with, and to see it materialize was really, really cool.
David, that is cool, man.
Yeah.
And are you ever thinking, wow, I came out here being, I don't know, there's something, okay. Are you thinking to yourself, I came out here being an actor and I'm doing this? This is not what I thought, but I'm loving doing this?
Yeah, what I thought was, there was a time where I was I felt like I could only be creative as an actor. That was what I thought when I was 20. I didn't know, and I thought, I was like, I want to be an actor. And I don't think, after doing this job and all these other jobs that I've done, I was like, I think I was just in love of being creative and being an artist. And an artist can mean a writer. And I don't think I grasped that at when I was 20. And I just think I love creating, I love being creative, and I love making people react or respond or have an emotional connection.
Well, David, here's the thing about you, though.
Yeah.
You're also a successful actor, man. You've booked a lot of gigs. You booked a
Yeah.
lot of theatrical gigs. You booked a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
So you're wearing a lot of hats here in Hollywood, and that is like the most important thing anybody out here can do. Because a lot of us wait for the phone to ring. You know, like, hey, honey, I got a busy day today. The phone may ring.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you going to do anything else? Baby,
I gotta be available.
I got to be available.
Yeah. I gotta drive down to Third and to sign in and do a group audition.
Yeah. So the fact that you're doing that, does it take pressure off of you to book gigs because you're busy, because you're focused on this? Does it help easier with this?
Yes, I think so. I think it's I'm not going into an audition saying I need this to make rent.
Right.
That is a huge weight off of me.
Yeah.
I'm not as available to audition, but I think I've come to terms with auditioning less, and when they do come, and it's usually like with the scare tactics, I would write and act in them. And I think that's from my groundlings training. It's like you write, and in Sunday Company, if you didn't write, no one was writing for you.
Yeah, just like Saturday Night Live, right?
Yes. They have writers, but the cast members also write.
Yeah.
But with Sunday Company, no one's really writing. Everyone's writing for themselves, or you're writing in a pair, but you're writing for you to be in that sketch.
Yeah.
And that happens with like all of these other sketch shows, Fameless and all this other stuff. I'm writing and I'm also in them.
Okay, so let's kind of move on.
Yeah.
Because you're more than scare tactics. Scare tactics come to an end.
Yeah.
When does that come to an end?
Well, they moved to Canada, and I didn't go with them to Canada for the last season 4 and 5.
Okay.
So that came to an end. Gosh, probably 2008.
Okay, so 2008.
2009.
So you're done with that.
Done with that.
Are you thinking that you want to do more reality after that? Or are you thinking, all right, back to acting?
I'm thinking whatever. I'm attacking it on all sides. I'm calling my producers and contacts and saying, do you have any writing gigs? And I'm auditioning.
Okay.
And I'm kind of just like.
Okay, so what hits? What hits next?
The next thing that hits is probably Fameless. Is the next sort of.
Fameless, produced by David Spade. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're right. Yes.
Go on.
So,
how did you get that?
Producer Kevin Healy he was an EP, one of the EPs of Scare Tactics. He he had this prod deal at E1, or was working for E1, and he brought me in because he knew it's instead of scare tactics or pranks that involve basically the scare tactics was like your prank where you're the star of your own sci-fi movie. Fameless was sort of a take on bad reality television and what people will do for fame, and so we make up fake reality shows.
Will you give me the best bit that you can think of on that show?
One of my favorite bits is this guy thought he was on this show. We did this thing. He thought he was on a show called Virgin Ink, right? And this is where people who don't have tattoos, virgins in the tattoo, are going to get their bodies tatted by Kat Von D, which is this amazing tattoo artist. What they don't know is that show is fake, and that there's another level to that. Not only is that show fake, there's another fake show that we're about to reveal. So we fake a tattoo. We tell him that we're putting numbing cream on him, and so he won't feel the pain. And he brings in a little tattoo thing. I want to get Marilyn Manson or like Marilyn Monroe skeleton on my back. She does it. Thinks that she does it. We take the ink out, but we have the sound and all that stuff.
Right.
We get now we're gonna do. Now I play the producer. I go, we're gonna reveal the tattoo, but there's one person that is all responsible for this tattoo that you're getting. He's like, what? We have an actress comes out and she's like, hi, you remember me? And he's like, no, I don't know who you are. And she goes into the story like you dated my girlfriend, you broke her heart, and we wanted to get revenge on you. And he's like, what? And she called him the wrong name. He's like, yeah, Jason. He goes, no, my name's JC. And she goes, wait, you're not Jason? And I was like, he's like, what's going on? I go, so you're Jason, you're not JC? He's like, yeah. He goes, what, does this have something to do with the tattoo? I go, yeah. He goes, before, because it's on his back, he hasn't seen the tattoo. I go, before we were, God, I go, this has been a terrible mistake. I tell the actors, I'm like, you can go. She goes, I don't think it's the guy. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. So I go, what show did you think you were on? He goes, I thought I was on Virgin Inc. I go, yeah, okay. The real show is called Revenge Inc. Obviously, there's been a huge mistake, and you're the wrong guy. He goes, so we should just reveal a tattoo, and it'll make more sense. We put what he thought was a permanent tattoo of dick butt. You know what dick butt is?
No, I don't.
It's a chicken. It's a terrible tattoo. It's an offensive tattoo. It's a chicken with a head of a penis, and his butt is a butt, and it's called anyway. And the words were. So he looks in the mirror and goes, "Is that what's permanently on my back?" And I go, "Yeah." And so he thought we convinced. I'm like, "This is a big mistake." He's like, "I got to see my grandmother this weekend," and he was legit buying it. And then we reveal like it's all fake. You know, David Spade's behind it, and you know.
David, that is funny stuff, dude. That is funny stuff. Okay, Fameless goes on for how long?
2 or 3 seasons. I think it's 2 seasons. They kept getting.
I watched that one. That's the one.
Okay,
yeah, I did.
Right.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Good.
Okay, that comes to an end.
That comes to an end.
Now, do you thinking, okay, I'm done with the scare tactic type of show or the hidden prank?
Yeah, well, not that I thought I was done. I really enjoy it. I still enjoy it. So not only am I, Kevin is always coming up with new shows and always he is the hidden camera god. I mean, he has so many under his belt. So not only am I back to auditioning, but I'm trying to come up with prank shows or kind of writing all that stuff. And then it sort of takes a left field. Somewhere around that time, I sell a script deal with not prank.
Okay.
So that sort of just came out of the blue.
Did you sell it to people that you have met within the writing community that you belong to?
I wrote it with buddy Steve Mallory.
Okay.
I met at the Groundlings, and we pitched it. Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone, her husband, brought it into Warner Brothers TV and as just a pitch, and we pitched it and we sold it, a script deal. So Warner Brothers was the studio to. And then we had to go out and pitch it to the networks.
What's it like to pitch?
I'm terrible at it. I'm the worst. The pitch at Warner Brothers. So I didn't know this, but because I wasn't even sure that it sold. We'd gone in. We didn't written a script. We had just had an idea and an outline, and we'd practiced this pitch. I had memorized it. I tried to treat it like a monologue.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe some people might work for them, but I wasn't loose. I was very like, we got to stay on the script, and it was going terrible in Warner Brothers.
How many people are you pitching this to?
Pitch it to 2 or 3 people at Warner Brothers. Me and Steve and Ben went into the room, and it was like when we walked in the room, it was so friendly. They're like, we can't wait to hear. It was almost like they wanted to buy it before we even said anything.
Okay.
And then we started.
Do they have any idea what you're going to be pitching them?
No, I think Ben sets it up. He's like, hey, there's this. We love these writers, but they think they have the great idea. Take it away, guys.
Okay.
And that's when it goes downhill. Because I'm stuttering, I got dry mouth, and I'm like having to backtrack. I'm like saying like, and then they meet this girl. Well, the girl they met earlier, the girl is actually a cousin of, and you see that in the beginning, but then there's a flashback in the end. But we'll get to that later. But there's a girl, and let me start. Okay, this is based on something like it was terrible. Like, I mean, I could tell like this is going bad, and Ben had to step in and was like, oh, okay, here's the deal. And then like we shook hands, and they said something. I wasn't sure that what had happened when we left the room.
Sure.
I was like, well, that was good experience.
Yeah.
I'll learn from this. And they said something. We all shook hands, and they said we'll have so and so reach out to you. And we walk down, we get in the parking lot, and Ben's like, congrats. We're like, on what? He goes, you sold it in the room. And I was like, I think you're mistaken. I don't.
Yeah,
know
he's walking out there with you at the same time?
we all leave and we're in the parking lot, and he's like, yeah, they said, it wasn't like we'll have HR, we'll have it was some term they used, like we'll have legal reach out to your people.
Okay.
So he was like, you better get a lawyer, and we're like, even Steve was like, they didn't say, like, I was expecting, like, we're buying this.
Right.
It was just like, all right.
But they used the league, but they used a term.
They used some term, like we'll have. It wasn't legal reach out to you. We'll have. It wasn't HR. It was, I forget what it was. But and we got a manager. He's like, you better get a lawyer and a manager to do your deal. And when we were talking to the managers and lawyers, we're like, we need a lawyer. We think we sold. Ben thinks we sold it. But and then so and so reached out to us. So we made the deal, and then we pitched it, and no one bought it. But then we had to write it, which was like kind of like a moot point.
Hey, you're on. Hey, we're doing a live podcast right now. Get in here, Jimmy.
What?
Yeah, man, right here.
Right here.
There you go, right there.
No.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. I've talked to you about doing this show.
No.
Yes.
Frightening.
You're doing it one day.
Who's he?
Yeah, that's what America
David
is
STORRS.
asking.
David STORRS. He has a new show on Netflix coming out.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
All right. Hey, I want you on the show, but wait, I'm going to finish up with him. How about it? Yeah, you can watch.
I'll watch.
Oh, no.
We gotta watch. He's a good one. He's a great guy.
All right,
Right?
great. Oh my
great
gosh.
guy.
God, he's staring at me.
I know. Here we go.
Here, those eyes.
Okay.
Those eyes. Look at those
Who's
eyes.
he?
Okay. Wait. So continue. So you sell. No, Jimmy, have a seat, man. So you sell it at Warner Brothers.
Yes. And it was a pitch. It was a script deal.
Okay.
So I didn't understand any of this. I just thought, oh, we have, someone, Warner Brothers, we're gonna go pitch it, and we'll probably sell it.
Okay.
And we didn't.
Okay. But you sold it though.
Well, I sold a script deal to Warner Brothers, but no network bought it. So we went and pitched it, and all the networks like, that's not for us. But because of our deal with Warner Brothers, so it was weird. We still had to write the script to get paid.
Okay.
So we wrote the script after everyone passed.
So where is that script now? Just sitting at Warner Brothers?
Well,
and they already paid you. They
are
paid you.
Yeah, they paid me, and they paid and I don't know where that script is.
Okay, so that doesn't happen. So what
Right.
happens next?
Well, we got a manager out of it, and then
Okay.
meanwhile, so this is all like tandem. So I'm doing the prank stuff, and then I'm also trying to do scripted stuff. And then I've got a manager, represented us, writer, and then we sold another.
Who was your manager?
Michael Diamond.
Ever heard of him, Jimmy?
Oh, he's great.
He's
I love
great.
Mike Diamond.
Yeah, Michael Diamond's amazing.
He's a good
great.
plumber too.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's still my manager, and he's a great writer. He's my writing manager, and he got us a meeting. So from there, we sold another script deal to Comedy Central.
Okay.
So this was directly to the network. So we had a guy, Adam Londi, who's no longer there. He shepherded that project all the way up, and then they passed. But
Okay.
that we wrote that with Comedy Central and got their notes and did the notes, and then we went up to pitch to Kent Alterman, and they said,
So now you have two shows that you've sold, but
Script
have
deals.
never made.
right. So I don't know if it's technically we sold a show. I think that we sold a script.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Right?
So to speak.
Sold a
Sold
script.
the script. Okay, so what's the next big thing that comes your way?
The next thing is probably this. I did a another prank show pilot for Fox with. Oh gosh.
Come on, Steve.
This is
Dave,
embarrassing.
this is
Okay.
embarrassing.
Oh, boy.
It was with Propagate, which is Ben Silverman's company, and who's the guy on Empire?
Right. You're a guy on
Hustle
Empire.
and Flow.
Hustle and Flow. Yes. The guy with the eyes,
You don't
green
know.
eyes.
Yeah, the green eyes.
Oh yeah.
You don't even know.
Yeah, no, I do know.
Oh my gosh, this is a
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Go ahead. Yes, I remember. Okay, go ahead.
yeah. Do you know for
No,
sure?
I said Steve because I thought Steve was
No, it's
connected
not
to something.
Steve.
No, I know, but anyway, but go ahead. So what happens to that?
We shoot the pilot in New Orleans.
Okay. So you finally
The
sold
Big
something.
Easy.
No, I did. Yeah, the big. I didn't write that.
Okay.
I didn't write that. I didn't
Okay.
sell that. I was just on as a writer and an actor.
Okay.
A story producer. and an
Okay.
actor. Okay. sold that. It aired on Fox, and then it didn't go anywhere.
So
But it was like an hour special.
When does Netflix start knocking at your door?
Well, not on my door. Netflix has never knocked on my door.
Okay.
Knocked on Kevin's door. They said they want to do a prank show. That was last year. So in October we start writing. Basically, Kevin came up with this idea for a prank show that would take it to the next level. So instead of a normal prank show is one person comes, they're the mark, everyone around them are actors, and we fool them and we reveal. This one was 2 marks, separate locations. They've never met. These people don't know each other. But one, for example, it's easier to just do as an example. One mark is hired to work at a hospital, right? Answering phones for better. Another is with me. They're hired to transport a NASA astronaut who's come back from space and is going to do a speech at the CDC. Okay? Those are the 2 worlds, right?
Okay.
So they've never met.
Okay.
All right? And these people, this is happening simultaneously. One is in a control room, and one's at the set, and I'm sort of on an island remotely, and I have my beats in my head, and I know what I have to do.
Okay.
You know Jeff Lewis?
Yes.
He plays the astronaut.
Okay, awesome.
So we pick him up, and this girl is my concierge. She's going to help us transport this astronaut to the hospital. Meanwhile, as we're going, he starts getting hungry. He starts eating, and you slowly, Kathy Shim is in, plays his wife, slowly reveal that he has lost a lot of weight since he's been back, and he's been eating a ton. He goes, I'm going to blow the doors off. NASA is going to be pissed. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, we came back early, and I've been in quarantine, and I'm going to blow the doors off. And so this Mark is like, okay. So he starts eating, he gets a stomach ache, and his stomach sort of starts to bleed. And she knows, like, oh my God, what? So I'm like, we got to go to the hospital. So I call the hospital where the second mark. No, the second mark.
The second mark.
She answers the phone, and I go, I got someone who's stuck, and I hand the phone over to the girl. She's like, this guy, he's an astronaut, whatever. So we're coming in. Yeah, so we go to the hospital, right? And then my mark tells the other mark what happened. So now 2 people who don't know what's going on are corroborating our story we've set up, right? And this girl's like, I don't know. And the doctor's like, let's bring them back to examine them. So, it is exactly what you think happens.
Yeah.
Both marks are there in the hospital room. The stomach starts, and then we have Gabriel. We have Gabriel. You know Gabriel? He did Rat Monster. He's a little person in Rat.
Okay.
Comes out of the stomach of Jeff and attacks the doctor. And then we reveal.
Oh my God.
And this is for the new Netflix show.
That's on Netflix right now. That's episode 3. Called
what's the name of the
Urgent
show?
Scare. It's called Prank Encounters.
Oh my God.
Prank
That
Encounters,
sounds great.
and it has the kid who
From Stranger Things, Gaten Mazzarato.
Oh, yeah, I love that kid,
He's
yeah.
he's in the control room, and he's sort of like the mastermind of this, and he's sort of like he'll come in and do the reveal.
Right.
Okay.
And so every prank is basically 2 people, and they encounter their paths
That's really
collide,
smart, man.
And it's amazing because you have now someone, in prank, the actors are normally doling out the information, trying to get someone to believe it. But it's rare for the mark now to know that information and then share that information. So you have a real person who doesn't know they're being pranked, sharing information with another person who doesn't know they're being pranked,
Right.
and it legitimizes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Special...
You can really tell probably that they're not actors. This person's
Yeah.
acting.
Right. It helps.
Really,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
sells the reality.
Yeah.
And for me, for me as an actor, I love it because it's a play. You're doing it for one person,
Sure.
and you're leading them down a path, and they're experiencing this emotion. They're completely safe, although they don't realize that.
Right.
And you see the true character, and you really do see the potential of them to be a hero and step up in a situation, especially when
What would you do? Now, how many times do you run this?
The question was, how many times do you rehearse this?
No. How many times? How
Well,
many marks all together? Do you just settle on the 2, or do you do it a couple of times?
Well, we always have marks in the back, in the wings, waiting, being held in a holding area, waiting to come to this job.
Right.
This like one day gig that
Yeah.
they think that they're going to get paid for. So they're waiting. All right, I got a one day job, and I'll go do it. We usually take with the prank encounters, we hit most of them on the first mark.
Sure.
But there was one that we had to do 2 marks, and there's one mark just bailed. She's like, "This sounds sketchy. I do not want anything." Before we even
sounds
got
like a network now.
but you'll be amazed what people believe. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, so you just did season 1 of that. Where are you going Friday?
How do I know that I'm not a mark right now?
There you go.
How do I know you're not
don't.
fucking pranking me? I hate you.
Jimmy's a big player in Hollywood.
No, I'm not.
Yes, she is. We'll talk about that later, but go ahead.
Keep doing your thing.
Jimmy, I want you to
Go
stay, dude.
watch prank encounters.
Well,
Stay,
I'll
just
tell-
have a
I'm
seat.
gonna get a coffee.
You can come back.
I gotta meet somebody.
All right.
Okay. Jimmy's a big dude in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Jimmy?
No, I've never met him.
Do you know him?
No.
He did a little show called Arrested Development.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, he's a good dude. He's a
All
really
right.
good. I wouldn't let anyone just sit there.
No,
But
I'm
because-
surprised you let me sit here.
Well, no,
Here.
dude, because you're good. You're good. All right, David.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, where are you going Friday?
I'm going to Atlanta Friday
Why?
because I'm going to do punch-up writing for a Netflix movie.
Okay.
No.
And is it because you worked on this Netflix gig that you
No.
got this?
No, Netflix is so big, they're not going to be like, "Hey, why don't we take that story producer and make him a punch-up writer?" No, it's Melissa McCarthy is doing a movie that was written by Ben Falcone.
And you know Ben Falcone
Through
and
the
Melissa
Groundlings.
McCarthy through the Groundlings.
Yes, Ben was my director in Sunday Company for the last 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've done some punch-up, I did punch-up writing on another movie of his. And basically, you go to set and you sit there at Video Village where the director sits, and you try to just toss out ideas to try to make the scene funnier.
Okay.
So, and it's, you're just there to throw out as many ideas as you can. And sometimes it's lines, sometimes it's action, sometimes it's whatever. But
How long are you planning to be there? How long did they hire you?
they hired me. Well, usually for a 1 or 2 week gig. But this is typical of Ben and Melissa, is that they'll throw you into the movie because there's a role that that's right for. So I'm actually going there for acting. So I have a small role there, a role like that. I'm in a group of people. I can't say too much about what it is, but I'm in a lot of scenes. So I don't have a lot of lines, but I'm in the background of a lot of things. So
That's
I'll just be
awesome, man.
there and do that and do punch-up writing.
Okay, really quick. We're
Yeah.
going to start shutting it down.
Yeah.
Worst time in Hollywood?
Oh gosh, it was a commercial shoot. Probably this is the worst. I booked a job. I needed money so bad. It was a Rolling Rock commercial.
Which was one of your first gigs.
Rolling Rock is one of my first gigs.
Okay.
Right, one of my first gigs. It was the concept was it was a European office. All the guys wore thongs in the office.
This was part of the commercial.
This was part of the commercial.
Okay, I didn't know if this was...
Right. This is the
okay.
commercial. So all the actors, all the guys were in thongs and a shirt and tie. And all the girls were in normal thing. And the conceit of the commercial is, hey man, you got the job. 2 things. This is a European office. All the guys wear thongs and the fridge is always stocked with ice cold Rolling Rock. So guys like, I'll do it. I'll take the job. So we're setting up. Everyone's in thongs. As humiliating as it is, the director looks at my thong and he says, I don't love Dave's thong. It's got too many tassels.
That's
So,
something else.
Get
Okay,
it? No, yeah. It might have been. It might have been.
Okay.
But he didn't like it because of the tassels.
Okay.
It was filled out just fine. He liked the shape of it, not the look of it.
Okay, I got you.
So he goes to the costume guy. He goes like,
Thanks for clarifying. But go ahead.
we need Dave in a new thong. All right. And the costume guy goes, I don't have any more thongs. I'm all out of thongs. Everyone, there's like 20 guys here. There's no thongs. It's like, what do we want me to do? And I remember looking at the director as he scanned the room of guys in thongs. And he said, have him switch thongs with that guy. And me and that guy, he was wearing his thong. We're both wearing the thong.
And you have to switch.
And we got to switch at the thongs. It's probably, I was like,
there is something funky about that.
something funky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, best time in Hollywood.
Best time in Hollywood.
Is it right now?
This is a good time. This is a really good time for me in Hollywood. Yeah, I guess being on set, on Prank Encounters, acting, writing, and producing it, like, and creating that is probably the best time. But I don't know if there's a moment.
But you have to also feel honored right now that Ben Falcone and Melissa McCarthy are thinking of you to fly you out to Atlanta to punch up their script. I mean, that has to feel pretty great.
Yes, and I feel completely unqualified, but yes, it's stupid that they're you know and especially their network of friends and comedians.
Yeah. Any advice that you got over Hollywood that you kind of keep in your back pocket?
Gosh, advice. I would just say, just find out what you love to do. And for me, it was not narrowing it down to just acting. Like if I discovered that, oh, it's being creative that I love doing. And so then I don't get wrapped up in feeling like, oh, I didn't get that job, I didn't get that acting, I'm worthless, or I'm not good enough because I didn't get that role or I didn't act well. But if I broaden it out and say, okay, I'm not pursuing acting, I'm pursuing being creative and being an artist, then I can find joy and contentment in not just acting, in writing and
All right,
producing.
last question.
Yeah.
What is it that you want to accomplish in Hollywood now? Don't say just to continue working in Hollywood. What is it that you want?
I would love to sell a script, a pilot, a half-hour comedy, and be the writer, creator of that, and be in it. And that would be, I wouldn't need to be in it, but it would be like that, just that, like any one of those.
You want to create?
I want to create.
All right, David, that was a fun
Thank you.
ride, dude. I appreciate
Thank you.
you doing
Yeah,
this.
thanks
David,
for
do me
listening.
one last
Yeah.
favor. Tell everybody bye out there.
Bye.